Hi everyone. I hope you guys are doing good. So as a part of our POSTGRES tutorial series, in last few lectures we learned about creating functions using dynamic SQL queries, right? And using bind variables in those dynamic SQL queries, right? And returning data from a function, right? Now, in this lecture, we will learn about procedures, right, and how procedures are useful when we already have an option of creating functions, why we need procedures, right? So let's start. I'll Let's open PGADMIN, and in PGADMIN we have four database right now. So let me expand organization database. So we'll create procedures in this database only. Okay, and before creating procedure, let me explain you guys no post from the Postgres documentation why procedures are no needed. Okay, so I have pasted here some of the extracts from Postgres documentation. Okay, so you can see a procedure is a database object similar to a function, right? It is very similar to function, but there are some key differences, right, between procedure and functions. Procedures are defined with the create procedure command, right, and not create function command, right? And functions are created with create function command, right? Procedure do not return a function value, right? So procedure do not return a value, right, in a function similar to function, right? Hence, create procedure lacks a return clause, right? So in create procedure, there is no like a return and some data. You cannot use that command as you use in function, right? However, procedure can instead return data to their callers via output parameter, right? So we have three types of parameter: in parameter, out parameter, and in out parameter. Three types of parameter we can pass in a procedure. So out parameter and in out parameters are can be used for returning data to the calling function in procedures. Okay. While a function is called as a part of query or DML command, a procedure is called in isolation, right, using the call command. That means function can be used in a select query, right? Function can be used in any DML queries as well, but procedure cannot be called in no select query or no DML query. Generally, it is used inside another procedure. It is called, and or you can have anonymous block and you can call the procedure, right? A procedure can commit or roll back transactions during its execution, right? So in procedure we have the control on transaction, right? That is the most important advantage which we have in procedure. So in procedures we generally do DML operations, right? And we can control those transactions using commit or rollback, right? So, so long as the invoking call command is not part of an explicit transaction block, right? So if and a function cannot do that, right? So in function we cannot define transactions, right? Transactions can be defined in procedure only, right? Okay, so these are the major differences which we have between procedure and functions, right? Although in procedure, for the second point, return command, so you can use only return, just the return keyword, just to come out of from the procedure, right? But you cannot return a value using these procedures, right? So these are the four major differences. That's why we need procedure as well as a database object, right? It is very useful when we work on any developing any applications, right? Then we create procedures. We take input from the UI interface, right? UI client, and we manipulate the data in our database, right? Based on those inputs, right? And then we return the status that all the manipulation has been done. You can do select queries as well, right? From the functions or individual select query to see the updated data, right? Now let me open PGADMIN. Now we will jump to demo. Okay, so we are going to create a few procedures, and I'll show you how procedures are created and what are the input parameters we can pass, right? And how we call the procedures. Okay. So let me expand this organization database, right? In this organization database, we are going to do some manipulation. So let's check our data first. So we have an organization table which has data of no more than 100 organizations, right? So this is the data we have, right? So we have first will is organization index, which is primary key. This is the sequence number of each organization. Then we have organization ID, name, website of organization, country, right? Description of organization, right? And when that organization was founded, right? Year of no formulation. Then we have industry, the industry which this organization belongs to, and the number of employees, right? How many number of employees are working in that organization, right? So this is the data we have, guys, right? Now we will create procedures, right? So we are going to create procedure in app schema. Let's expand app schema, and then let's expand procedure tab, right? So we see that there is no procedure, right, inside that right now. So let me create one procedure. Okay, so I've already prepared scripts. Let me just paste that, and then I'll explain you all the syntax, right? So So this is the create procedure, complete create procedure script, right? So it starts from create or replace, right? So you can use create or replace. If your procedure is already created, it will replace that with the new code, right? So create or replace procedure in app schema, we are creating procedure org refresh proc, right? We have input type of parameter p org index, and then p new employee count, right? And in out parameter we have PUPD status. So basically, we are passing the organization index as a input parameter and the new employee count of that organization, right? Suppose few more employees joined that organization, right? So now the new organization has the total employee count has changed, right? So it's a new employee count. We are passing it here, and we want that using that p-org index, right, as a parameter, and employee new count, we want to update our organization view, right, with the new employee count, right, in the table, right? And there is a out parameter PUPD status just to return from the procedure that yes, the update has been done or not, right? Update is successful or not, right? So this is a Boolean type of parameter. This will be just return true or false. Okay. So except that, then language is PLPG SQL same, right? Then we have body. Then we have declare section. In declare section, we have declared one variable called LV employee count will used in the body. Okay, so this is a begin type of variable. Now, now we are running a command update app.org view set number of employee equals to p number of count, which I am passing into this procedure, right? Where org index equals to this for this organization p org index, right? That is also I'm passing, right? So both the input parameter, using that input parameter, we will be able to update organization view, right? And why I'm using organization view, because this is a simple view created on table public.org. So any update done on this view will be applied to the table as well, right? So I can use here table also, or I can use view also. Okay, so I choose to use view. Okay, so now so update is done, right? After update I'm committing this transaction. Then we have a check, right? So a new employee count has been updated in this field, number of employees, right? Now I'm again taking that number of, after update I'm taking that number of employees into this variable LV employee count from this view, where for that particular organization org index equals to p org index, which is passed. So for that particular organization I have taken the updated number of employees into this variable. Then I'm checking, there's a if else block, and there I'm checking that if the number of employee count, a new employee count which I passed, is equals to the employee count currently right now in the table, right? So if both are equal, that means our update is good, right? So I'm updating the status as true, right? So it should be a boolean command without no quote. So it should be like this, true, right? PUPD state. And if it's not equals to right, that means our update has not worked, right? So it will return a UPD status false, right? So there is no update, right? So this is the way we create procedure, guys. Let me just run this procedure script. Okay, so procedure got created successfully, right? Procedure got created. So let me just refresh that in my object explorer in procedure, so we can see one procedure got created. That is app org refresh proc, right? Now I'll tell you how to call this procedure, how I can pass input parameters and how I can pass output parameter and see the result, right? So to do that, I've already prepared anonymous block to call this procedure. So since it has a output parameter, right? So we'll have to call this from this anonymous block, right? Which looks like this. So do, and then you have delimiter, and then I'm declaring out variable which was UPD status as boolean type, same type as function parameter, right? And then in begin clause I'm calling this procedure app org refresh proc. I'm passing index as 2 and I'm passing the updated value as 3000, and UPD status variable I'm passing, which I am again printing that UPD status using this raise info message operator. Okay, so using this raise info message command, we can print this UPD status, right? So I'm just giving the label as a status of update, and there is a percentage, right, placeholder where this variable will be printed, right? So this is the way we can call procedure, guys. Let me just check the data first for this organization index. So select star from where org index equals to 2, right? So let's check the data. What is the employee new count right now? So we can see employee new count is right now 3000 only, right? So let's suppose that new employee count is 5000, right? Now we are going to update that as 5000 for this organization index 2, right? And our updated status will be printed true or false in this updated status boolean variable, right? So let's run that. So you can see in the message it is showing info, right? It is printing this arrays info, our information which we want to print, right? Status of update, status of update, and UPD status it is printing as T, true, right? That means our state update is done, right? That way we can know in the data output that our status has been updated, right? Now let's check that our this thing number of employees got updated to 5000 or not in the table, right? See, number of employees got updated, right, guys? So now you understood, right? So using this procedure, we can do any manipulation on the data, right, based on the parameter, right? And this is the way we call the procedures, right? And if you are calling in any other procedure block, suppose there is a new procedure, create or replace procedure, right? Procedure P1, right? Procedure P1, right? So here you can directly call this procedure also, right? You can just call this procedure, so you don't need to write anonymous block. You can directly call this procedure like this, right? And before that, just in declare section you have to declare a variable, right? And this UPD status, because it has an output parameter, right? If you have only input parameter, then you don't need to declare any variable, right? So you just call this procedure like this. I can call this procedure like this, right? Just passing this two parameter, right? If you have only input parameters, right? No output parameter, so you can call the procedure like this in another function, right? But since you have output variable, right? So you need to give a variable. You have to declare a variable in which you want to save the output return from the procedure and print that. Okay. So this is the way we run the procedure, guys. Okay. Now let me show you a few more example of procedures. Okay, few different types of parameters, right? So let me just show you. So see, it is same procedure. Okay, so procedure is same, right? Only in parameter we are PUPD status was out type of parameter in earlier example. So I have made it as in out type of parameter. So I already told you earlier we have three types of parameter. In parameter which only takes value, out parameter which only returns values from the procedure, and in out procedure which can work as an input parameter also and output parameter also, right? This is the advantage of declaring as in out parameter, guys. That's what I'm going to explain in this procedure. So there is a very good advantage of declaring variable as in out. Okay, so I'm doing same update and all. So you it is same everything, right? All the rest keywords are everything is same, right? So we are checking the employee count has been updated or not, right? And then I'm returning from here true or false, right? So I think procedure is everything is same, right? Just the calling will vary this time. So let me just create this procedure. Okay, so procedure is not on unique. So since I'm changing the parameter type, so I'll have to drop this old procedure first and then create this procedure. Okay, so procedure got created, right? Now, how I'm going to call this procedure, that's what I want to show. Okay, so how I'm calling this procedure, just writing no anonymous block, just I'm writing call this procedure name, then input parameter, output parameter. So earlier we updated as 5,000, right? So let's update as 6,000 number of employees, right? And if you can see the third parameter is in out type, right? In out type of parameter, right? So what we'll do is in out parameter, since it's a boolean type of parameter, so it can take true, false and null. Okay, so I am passing null in this, right? So my output will come as true or false, right? So I'm passing a default value as null in this, right? And we can run this. So let me run this. Okay, so you can see our PUPD status, which was our in out type of parameter, now gets printed as a output, right? And it is also showing true, right? That means update is successful, right? So this is the advantage of using in out type of parameter, that it gets printed in our data output field automatically. We don't need to print that specifically, and in message you can see successful, right? So this is the advantage, guys, right? Using in out type of parameter, we can also declare default here itself, right? So I'll show you one more example where I'll show you more better way, to call these procedures. Okay, so see, in this procedure, what I'm doing, this is the procedure name is same, just that I'm taking org index and p employee count as in parameter. That was same as previous procedure. PUPD status as in out parameter, which we used earlier, right? I'm increasing one more parameter. Let's see what happens if we keep two out in out type of parameter, right? Then let's check how we can run, right? Also, one more difference here is while declaring only in out parameter, I'm giving a default value null, right? That means if I'm not passing anything in this parameter, the null will be passed automatically in this parameter. I don't need to, pass it here while calling the procedure, right? Similarly, I declared one more p output type of parameter, and the default value is 0 because it's an integer type of parameter I have taken. So this is a boolean type of, it is giving update status true or false. Here it's I'm taking a integer type of output parameter which will return 0 if there is no update is not successful, and it will return 1 if update is successful. So see here, all the rest codes are same, right? I'm doing update, and then only changes here, I am along with the PUPD status, when in case of update, in case the update is successful, right? True, and this count is matching, right? So I'm updating PUPD status as true. Also, I'm updating P output as 1. Okay, so I'm just using two output type of parameter, right? Similarly, in PUPD status, it's false, and I can use P output as 0, right? Because update is not done, right? So this is the way, guys, I want to return, two outputs now, and both are in out type of parameter, right? Let's create this procedure. Before creating this procedure, let me just drop the old procedure. So let me just create this procedure. Does not exist. Okay. Oh, boolean. Oh, because last one is int, not boolean, so I'll have to write it here int, integer, right? In alter procedure command. So let me again rerun this procedure. Okay, so procedure got created, right? Now to call this procedure, what I'll have to do, I can call this procedure, right, like this also, right? I can call this procedure giving both the input parameter as well as output parameter also I can pass, that is in output parameter. But best way is that since we have already declared default, so we will not pass any output parameter, right? So it will automatically pass null and 0 from here in the procedure, right? So let's update it to 7,000, right? So let me just see what happens. So let's run this procedure. So see, PUPD status is true, right? That means our update is done, and P output is 1, right? So both our out in out parameter gets printed automatically, right? We don't need to declare anonymous block and declare variable and all, right? So this is the advantage, guys. This way also you can utilize this in out parameter. Okay. Now, last thing I want to show you is, suppose after update, I don't want to, I update it, right? So I keep it rollback. I'll write rollback after this update, right? So just so I have shown you every successful updates, right? So let's check what happens if update is done, but since it has been rolled back, right? So update is not done, right? Then it will go in this else block and it should print like this. Okay, so let's check this, guys, that is it working as expected. So procedure got created, right? Now I want to update it as 9,000, right? The number of employees count, right? So it will try to update that, and then it will be rollback. Then that's how it will not be updated, right? So let's check calling this procedure. So see, I tried to update as 9,000, right? It has been rolled back here after update, right? So it's not updated. So it is giving me that, again, it taken the number of employees count from this view, right? It compared, and then it did not match here, right? Because I passed 9,000 and in table it is 7,000, right? It's not, the update has not done, right? So it went in this else block, and PUPD status as false, P output as 0, right? So that's how, guys, we control transactions in procedure. This is the best example. You can use commit and rollback as where you want in this procedure to commit your changes or roll back the changes, uh, right? Roll back the transactions, right? So these are the examples, guys. I hope you guys understood the concepts of procedures, right? And also understood how to use procedure, how to use parameters in the procedure, how to do commit and rollback inside procedure, right? And what are the differences between procedure and functions. So in the next lecture, guys, we will learn more cool features about Postgres. Okay. So if you guys like this video, please subscribe my channel. Yeah. Thank you, guys.